with my sleep. Before, I was taking melatonin every night and I was still having vivid nightmares. And now I take melatonin only when I have those days that I'm just running, and maybe just to get me to sleep, because I had a problem with that before as well. But maybe to get to sleep, but not to stay asleep. That is a difference. I'm outside, you guys. It is Florida, and it went from raining for 3 weeks straight to hot. And I was trying to change up the atmosphere than being in my bathroom. But this may have been a bad idea. It's hot. And I don't want to be perspiring on camera, but it's hot. And so we're going to speed this up because I'm hot. When I talk about my injection sites, so for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying to everyone that I want to change my injection site. My injections have been on my lower stomach. It has been on my lower stomach, and I got a lot of fat right there. So I'm like, hey, let's just do that. I do have to mention, if you are new to my channel, I am definitely afraid of needles. And so for me to do this is a miracle, but I'm doing it every week. And if I can do it, then anyone can do it. That's how I feel. Getting over that first time is just hard. So me doing it at the bottom of my stomach was not bad. It was just that, hey, why not try something different? I had a bruise before when I did it at the top of my stomach, and I've been kind of saying I want to go back to that because I literally was losing very good weight at the top of my stomach. But the bruise was there for about 2 months. I hold on to bruises, and so I just couldn't do it. But I actually did my shot this morning at the top of my stomach, on the left side of my stomach. And so I'm like, wow, I did it. And it was easier than the bottom of my stomach. I didn't even realize that the needle was in, because I'm waiting for, sometimes I can feel a little prick and sometimes I can't. But with me having, I thought, more fat at the bottom of my stomach, that, it'd be easier. It was so much easier at the top of my stomach. And so I'm gonna be doing that again. I don't know why I had the bruise before, but I'm doing it again. I'm gonna do it again at the top of my stomach. So it was on the left side at the top of my stomach, and no problems and no issues with that as well. I can say that for me, I have not exercised at all this week. So we had a huge event last week, which is why I did not do a video. And it was a event for my foundation. It's our yearly gala, our fundraising gala. I am still trying to recover from that, and I am not trying to give excuses every week, but working out helps me not just physically but mentally. It hurts me not to work out because it helps my mental health, and I do need to do that. I need to get rest right now. I'm trying to recover from that. We still have books to do. We still have to get everything together. There's a lot of things that we have to wrap up between today and tomorrow, but we're going to get it done. And so I hope and pray that all of you guys hold me accountable, that I do my workout this week. And if not 2 days, at least 3 days this week. I need to do something now that I'm not running every single day with doing the gala for the last 5.5 months. So hopefully that happens this week. So I cannot say, if I had to judge myself with exercise, it's a big fat 0. But it needs to get better. It does need to get better. Not just for myself physically, but mentally, I need it. I definitely need it. So let's get down to the numbers. So I think if you saw my last video, my doctor took me off of my diuretic, or my water pill that I was taking, because apparently I was taking the wrong medication. So let's just go into what it was that I weighed in this morning and how do I feel about it. So this morning I weighed in at 173.8. And even though I wish it was lower than that, I'm okay with that. I weighed in at 173.8, and I'm good with that. Last week I was 174.6. So I lost 0.8 ounces, and I think that's not bad considering the medication, not medication, things like that. I don't feel a difference either way. I'm hoping that next week will be better, because I will be on my medication, and I'll be getting all of this water and inflammation out every single day. Hopefully it doesn't screw up my blood work. But yes, at this point, I lost 0.8 pounds. And why am I happy? Because I went up to 178 pounds without taking my medication. And I did that in like 4 days. So for me, it's like I'm starting over to get down to where less than what I was last week is great for me. So I'm okay with that. Let's go into my measurements. What I can say is that I lost a ½ inch on my hips, which is weird because when I'm in my weight loss, I haven't lost weight I haven't had to lose weight in over 10 years. But when I did lose weight, I tend to lose weight from my waist up, and I don't ever have a stomach, and it just goes away easy, and my hips are the last thing to go. But now they're the first thing, which is odd. So I have lost 0.5 inches on my hips. So I'm 45.5. I know that's a lot for some people, but 45.5 on my hips. On my thighs, I have lost 1 inch on each thigh, and this has been since last month. So both of my thighs are 24 inches. And that's something that hardly ever, ever, ever goes down. Even my hips go down, my thighs are rubbing like sandpaper. But okay, so they're going down. I'm actually probably not touching legs as much as I did before. My stomach, which used to be a 30 at the biggest that it was, is still at 36 inches. And that's a lot for me. I'm sorry, 35 inches. That is a lot for me. My abdomen, which is up under my breast, is at 32 inches. And my arms that I'm working on here is 12 inches on both arms. So they are symmetrical, which they were not at first, but they are. So my measurements have actually went down only from my hips and my thighs, not from my arms, not from my abdomen, not from my waist. Nothing else has moved. A little concerning, but then it's like, yay, my hips are moving, and I might be able to get into a different size clothes. I don't know. I did try to put on yesterday for work my size 14 jeans, and they were big on me. And I do have some 12s that I bought a while ago. That was my size back in the day, and I've been wearing my 12s for a while, so as long as they have a little stretch, it was fine. But the 14s yesterday, I'm donating those clothes. That's not going to happen. And so that's a good thing. But there are some clothes that the 12 and the 14, it kind of sways back and forth. So I'm not going to be too excited about that. Working out will help me with working on all of these things. And so I do need to do better. Again, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. If you can please share this video. I'm just going to say this. It is very hard to be transparent and to share your life on any YouTube. I am not an introvert, but I am super private. What we're doing here, even YouTube, my family doesn't know about because I'm just private like that. And I'm close to my family, but that's just me. So for me to come and do this every week is a stretch. It's me out of my comfort zone. And every time I do this, I'm stuttering and I'm like, I just don't know if I'm able to do it. So it helps me that I know that there are people that are at least walking in the same path or thinking about walking in the same path, because that way I know that I'm not talking to myself. I can do that by myself in the mirror. I don't have to use my phone and editing and all that. I can do that by myself. I am doing a clean and chat series because we had a bunch of people here, and I do want to share a little bit more of what's going on with Rich and I and things that's just on my mind and without me just sitting here and just talking. So I'm doing a clean and chat, which means I am just doing some things and I'm chatting and I'm just letting you guys know what's going on. Don't forget to join me on those and comment. Let me know if you like it or what can I change and what can I add to it. It'll be my first time ever doing it, and I'm pushing myself out of my zone, so why not? But I thank you so much. But I'll see you next week for my next weigh-in with my medications, and let's just pray we can get closer to 170 so that I have a little bit more encouragement. Bye.